Ever wonder why your pack ends up heavier than you planned, even when you've done everything right? I've been hiking for over 30 years and I still fall for some of the same sneaky traps that quietly adds 5 to 7 pounds to your pack. Not all at once, not obviously, but piece by piece, fear by fear. So in this video, I'm going to show you where that weight actually comes from, why ultralight hikers are especially vulnerable to it, and how to cut pounds without losing comfort, safety, or confidence. Hey guys, I'm Ricky, and welcome back to your Trail Buddy. Let's start first with the sneakiest villain in your pack, redundant clothing. Those just-in-case layers are silent assassins. Every piece that you put in there feels justified, until you're halfway up the mountain and your pack feels like it's full of bricks. I once had a friend show up on a multi-day trip with 6 full sets of clothing, fresh socks and thermals for every single day. Like he was hiking out to the Paris Fashion Week. His pack weighed more than my 10-day base weight. I get it, because I've done it too. The extra fleece, the spare vest, the what if it snows in the middle of summer, which can happen in the Colorado mountains. Here's my rule now. If 2 layers can do the same job, then one of them doesn't belong. My system nowadays is boring, and that's the point. An extra pair of socks, an extra pair of underwear, a fleece if I feel like it's gonna get chilly, and a rain jacket. And that's it. Wash, rotate, and repeat. You don't have to be perfect out in the backcountry. That just-in-case vest, I leave it at home for most trips, and I haven't missed it. So ask yourself, has this piece of item earned its weight, or is it just riding along? Because even if your clothing is dialed in, most packs still gain a lot of weight in the kitchen. Food is the easiest way to add 3 to 6 pounds without even noticing it. You know how it happens. Pack's done, you're feeling organized, and then that voice says, maybe one more snack. I can use some extra nuts. What about a backup meal, just in case? And suddenly your food bag weighs 2 pounds more than you planned. Early on, I used to pack 2.2 pounds of food per day, because that's what you're supposed to do. Then I started tracking what I actually ate. Turns out, I can typically get away with around 1.5 to 1.75 pounds per day. If you're out on a long trip, like a 10-day trip, that can save you like 10 pounds if you're carrying it all at once. That's like the equivalent of removing a full backpack from your pack. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Overpacking food doesn't make you safer. It just means that you're carrying your anxiety uphill. Ultralight isn't about starving. It's about knowing your numbers and knowing what you need to eat to keep moving on the trail. Which leads us to our next mistake. Most hikers carry too much water out on the trail. And a lot of times that's because you're carrying your uncertainty. Carrying those extra liters just in case, having emergency water on top of your full bottles. 1 liter of water weighs 2.2 pounds. That adds up fast. So carrying that 1 extra just in case liter for a day, congrats. You just added more weight than what an ultralight tent is. Water planning is skill, not a gamble. Know your sources, know your consumption rate. Carry enough water to get you across the next stretch, not the entire map. Now don't get me wrong, you need to make sure that you know where your water sources are and that you've got enough water. But the better you plan, the better you know what to carry. Fear weighs more than water ever will. Let's talk about Overbuilt first aid kits. You know the one. 1.5 pounds of bandages, peels, splints. When I first started out, I used to carry one of those large first aid kits. I work in emergency management, and so I treated every hike like it was a potential disaster zone. But here's the truth. Real safety doesn't come from more gear. It comes from skills, judgment, and calm thinking. The kit that I carry now has stuff for wound closure, blister care, anti-inflammatories, antihistamines, tape, and compression bandages, all in one small pouch. So ask yourself, am I carrying confidence or just comfort weight? Because the same mindset shows up again. Now this one crushes ultralight packs. Having multiple navigation systems, having 3 different light sources, such as having a headlamp, a lantern for your tent, and a flashlight. Do you really need all 3? Or having a backup stove and then still having a cold soak jar? Not because you need all of these things, but because you don't really trust any of the systems fully. Here's the rule. 1 trusted system beats 2 half-trusted. Duplication is just weight caused by doubt. Now this is the most seductive trap of all. For years mine was camera gear. I carried a huge large camera, extra lenses, multiple mounts, remotes, all because what if I missed the shot? That gear added 2 to 3 pounds to my pack always. A lot of times that shot that I was thinking was gonna happen never happened. And when it did, most of the time I was sleeping in my tent. Maybe yours isn't cameras. Maybe it's extra gadgets, extra shoes, or just extra comfort items that you never use. If it's not core to the purpose of the trip, it should stay home. Preparedness isn't carrying every option. It's knowing which ones actually matter. Whether you're old school or you're modern, this mistake still happens. Taking out paper guidebooks with you can easily add 12 to 16 extra ounces that you don't need to carry. I did this when we first started out on the Colorado Trail because I thought I needed to have some of the guidebooks to tell us about all the stuff that we needed. We didn't, and I dropped it on my first drop. If you really need to have some of these things, you can take digital versions. But even if you take a digital version, it's going to cause you to spend more time on that device or have to carry an extra device and potentially have to carry extra charging devices to be able to keep that thing charged. And all of that leads to our next challenge. Most people carry double what they need. One of the biggest regrets that I had on the Colorado Trail was that I carried a 20,000 battery bank. I could have easily taken a 10,000, and that would have gotten me through most of it. And even if I felt like I was worried about having too much, I could have taken two 10,000 so that at any time I could have been charging one and using one altogether. Because now that I'm back from the Colorado Trail and I'm not actually out on trail for 30 days straight, where I don't really need the extra chargings, I've now got this 20,000 battery bank that I don't really need to take with me on a short weekend trip. The same thing can kind of happen with fuel. A lot of us take out these big, huge canisters of fuel or a brand new canister full of fuel for an overnighter. We don't need that much fuel. Pay attention when you're out. Track your actual usage. Weigh your canisters when you get home. See what it is that you're actually using for the time that you got so that you can plan ahead and only carry what you need. Ask yourself, am I packing for my trip or am I packing to power a small village? This mistake is the quiet killer. If you don't take the time at the end of your trip to review what went unused, your pack's never gonna get lighter. After every trip, ask, what didn't get used? What barely got used? What was dead weight? If it was unused, you should suspect whether or not it should make it to the next trip. There's some things that, hopefully you don't use, like your first aid kit, that shouldn't be pulled out. But there are other things that you'll find that could make that list. Extra space invites extra gear. Similar if you've ever been packing for a regular trip and you take that really large suitcase, it's so much easier to try to pack things into that and think that, hey, I've got extra room, let's go ahead and take some more. So when you're packing for your trip, make sure you're utilizing a backpack that fits the trip. An extra large backpack for an overnight just means that you're more tempted to put more just in case items, which will eventually end up leading to a heavier pack. Ultralight starts with constraints, not giving yourself tons of options. So here's the system that I use that ties it all together. Start off with your core equipment, the things that you have to be able to go out and enjoy your trip. Things like your shelter, your sleep system, insulation that you need, rain protection, food, water, navigation, first aid, repair kit. These things keep you alive and keep you moving. All the extra stuff, that's just plus stuff. That's comfort stuff, which you can take, but you gotta be a little bit more thoughtful about it. Things like a chair, camp shoes, extra food, spare lenses, and then just other luxury items. Lock in your core system first, and then add plus items intentionally, not by habit. This mindset alone can save you 5 to 10 pounds before you even weigh your pack. Ultralight isn't about suffering. It's about clarity. And the lighter your pack gets, the clearer your decisions become. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I hope I see you guys out on the trail.